closer. I hate when dudes be looking good from afar, but then they come close and then it's like... Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I just wanted to talk today about depression, anxiety, and suicide, just because I feel like I talked about it in my moving video but never really explained it. Basically, when I moved from junior year, I basically fell into like social anxiety and depression. Now, my therapist said I didn't have depression, but I'm pretty sure I had depression. But because I was going through such a huge change, she basically said, like, that's normal. Whatever, which is true. It's true. But I just wanted to talk because I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough, especially suicide and, like, feeling suicidal and stuff like that. When you're depressed, you kind of know it. I feel like our kids think that, or like for me personally, when I was like depressed and going through everything, I thought that I was going insane. Like I thought that I was going crazy, and I thought that like I needed to go on meds. And I just wanted to say, like, depression, I mean any mental illness, I mean, I don't understand why people try and downplay it, or why people try to downplay people that have it, or why people don't want to talk about it. But it's very, very serious. But it's very important to know that if you are depressed, you have anxiety, you're feeling suicidal, that everything is going to be okay no matter what. But you just have to trust in that and trust in yourself and believe that you will get out of it, basically. But like signs of depression is like you're crying all the time. You basically feel worthless. You feel like, what's my purpose? What am I doing? You know, you wake up in the morning, you don't want to get out of bed, you don't want to do nothing. Stuff that you used to love to do, you don't want to do it anymore. And so you feel very tired, drained, very like, you can even like catch yourself crying for no reason. You catch yourself just feeling down. People say, what's wrong? And a lot of the times you might say, like, I don't know what's wrong, or you might know what's wrong, or there's just certain days. And I know, like, with major depressive disorder, you had to feel like that for a certain amount of time, you know, because we all have our bad days. We all have days when we feel blue, especially women, you know what I'm saying. So like people might try and say, well, you know, you kind of had to wait and see if you have depression and stuff like that. But me personally, I feel like you can feel it, especially when you already had it. I feel like anytime you have a mental illness, it doesn't completely go away. So I just feel like, you know yourself, you know your brain, and you know when you feel, you just know yourself. That's all that I'm gonna say. And don't let no one tell you that you're not depressed. Don't let no one tell you that you have no reason to be depressed, that you should be happy. That a lot of times too, when I was going through depression, I felt like, what's the point? Like, I basically lost my like spirituality and my connection with God. So I stopped praying. I felt like he hated me. Like, why would you put me through this? And you just know. But you go through certain stuff for a reason. And if you feel depressed, you should definitely go and get some help. So you can either like go to a therapist, pray more, tell your parents, or even tell a friend that you're very comfortable with. My friends, now they know, but back then, now if I'm feeling down and stuff, I don't tell nobody. But back then, like, I used to tell people used to tell me, like, you have no reason to be depressed, you know, you're lucky, you're blessed, which I was, and I still am today. But it was like, oh, depression isn't real. Depression is just you feeling sorry for yourself. Oh, it's okay, just smile more, just be happy, yada yada yada. And then it was like, hearing all of that just made it worse. Like, damn, like, I feel like no one, when you're depressed, no one like listens to you until it's too late. They don't listen to you until you're talking about killing yourself. I mean, even you don't listen to you because you don't want to believe that. Like, who want to be depressed? But you don't want to believe that. So you feel very, very confused. Like, you don't know you know, you don't want to do no homework. You also, like, what I noticed that a lot of stuff I don't remember, or I remember if like a trigger comes on, but a lot of stuff I don't remember. Like some days I don't really remember what happened, you know, because you be so caught up into your life, into your feelings, into your head, that's all you remember, that's all you think about, and then you basically forget what happened that day, what you did that day, what plans you were gonna do. There, you also can, like I said, you just feel very unmotivated, you feel very down, you want to like sleep all the time. You compare sleep to death, and that was me. I compare sleep to death. I love sleeping because it was like, oh, I don't really have to be alive. Wow, that's dark. But it was like, I'm not basically alive, you know. I'm not up crying, I'm not up shaking, I'm not up having to interact with people. It was just time for me to like, things were end, it was done, finito, until the next day I had to wake up. So also I had anxiety primarily just because I was going to a new school, and that anxiety basically manifests itself into depression. So then I have both, and like for anxiety, I don't know, I'm not gonna sit here and say which one's worse, which one's better, because there's no such thing. But anxiety, it was like something I have never ever in my life felt or knew about. And it was like I was nervous all the time, but it's way more than just being nervous. It's like, how do I explain it? It's like basically my heart, so my chest, right, like about right here, whenever I would wake up or think of things, I would get those thoughts in my head. All of a sudden, like my chest, it would like feel like something was in my chest, like jumping, and then it would be like I couldn't really breathe. I would have like attacks. I would have crying attacks. That's what I call them. There's all anxiety attacks, but you know, times where you're just crying hysterically, times when you also get very rude and annoyed and irritated very quickly. Someone can say something to you and you just want to be like left alone. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with crying. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be alone. There's nothing wrong with having it in general. For me personally, I embrace it, especially back then. I feel like it kept me safe, maybe a little too safe. It kept me on edge all the time, and like I said, maybe a little too on edge to the point where I couldn't really enjoy life back then. But it did keep me safe, you know. Especially as a teen, you feel very bad. Like you're trying to grow up, you're trying to figure stuff out. You have people ask you, what college are you going to? You have people ask you, you know, you got a boyfriend. Then also too, I had like my sister and your family, and you're trying not to disappoint them, and you're trying not to disappoint yourself, and you're trying to go to school, you're trying to do all this stuff, and then on top of that, you had these feelings that you don't know what's going on with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're stressed out. So I know as a teen, I know how that feels. So I help other teens, basically, like my friends. You ever feel sad? Even there's like text hotlines. Just like text the hotline and just pour your feelings out, because that always helps. You can pray and just pour your feelings out. Write in a journal. I have a journal. I got a new journal, but you could just write everything out. And there's like a huge stigma around it, you know, because once you tell people that you want to kill yourself, it's very like people kind of attack you in a sense. Like, and like also too, I couldn't tell my therapist that I was feeling suicidal, because when you are a minor, they're obligated to tell your parents, and I didn't want my parents to know, so I didn't tell my therapist. So when I was feeling very suicidal, I only had myself really, and I couldn't really tell no one. I did tell my sister that I was gonna kill myself, and then she kept that a secret for a couple weeks, and then she ended up telling my parents that I said that. And then basically, like I said, I don't remember what they said and all that, but I know that it became like, you know, you have people, you cannot kill yourself, life is worth living, basically. So but even then, like, I still felt very suicidal. I felt very suicidal for a long time, just because I did not want to go to school, and I did not want to deal with people. I did not want to deal with, like, I was fed up. I was fed up with life. And yeah, I wanted to kill myself because I wanted to like go home. Like I used to say all the time, like I want to go home, I want to go home. And then people be like, well, you have a home, and I'm like, not this home. Like I want to go home. Like I want to leave. You feel suicidal or self-harming, because I also felt very self-harm. Like I tried, didn't work out, works of God, but like try to find other healthy and happy ways to deal with stuff. So for me, it was like watching football, watching Bad Girls Club, watching TV, basically sleeping, and what else did I do? Listening to music. So I also have a playlist. If you feel sad and stuff, you can listen to that playlist. It's gonna help you cry it out, it's gonna help you feel better, and it's gonna just help for you to be in your feelings. Okay, some songs on there is like a suicide song. Music was like an outlet for me. It helped for me to, that's when I really got into music, and I really got into artists, and I really cared about albums coming out and stuff like that, because that was really all I had. When I went to school, I was listening to music in class. I was sleeping in class, but listening to music on the way home, listening to music while I was asleep, listening to music just all the time, you know. And that became like an outlet for me to really sit down and feel better and cry it out, you know. And that's one of the most important things I could say, is to cry it out. I feel like when I was feeling very depressed and stuff, it was like a bad thing for me to cry. But cry it out, it's gonna help you feel better. Crying helps release stress hormones. So cry it out, but then wake up and be like, I'm that bitch. I was depressed, like I wasn't taking care of myself. My hair, I ain't do my hair. I ain't care about what I look like. I ain't care about what I was wearing. I didn't care about nothing. I got contacts that year. I ain't wear them because I was crying all the time. And like go to school and just feel very like depressed. Like you just feel like something is weighing you down. You feel like there's a weight on your foot that's just weighing you down and down and down and down and down and down and down. But sometimes I feel like, me personally, I feel like I went through what I went through to prepare me for like where I'm at now and where I'm gonna be, because there's multiple problems in life. Problems don't just go away forever. So there's gonna be other times where you might start feeling a little depressed and you gotta pick yourself back up, and might be other times where you're feeling sad and you have to just get back up and use what you learned from before to help you keep going and just keep pushing, you know what I'm saying? And if you are depressed and you have anxiety, just know every little step that you do, be proud of yourself. Whether that's taking a shower, getting out of bed, doing your hair, going out, like be proud of yourself for every little thing that you're doing, because every little thing that you're doing is just pushing you more and more and more, and every little step counts for something, because that's all gonna accumulate and become something big and exponential. So every little step that you're taking, be so proud of yourself. I'm proud of you, and just know that it's gonna get better. It's hard, life is hard, anything you do is hard, but you'll get through it. That if you're feeling suicidal, please don't do it. I know people that have tried multiple times. Not really no one that's close to me, but that I see in like Facebook groups and stuff, that I've tried multiple times, and you know, it may not feel like life is worth living, but later on, who knows what you could be, who knows what you could do for people, who knows that you could take your story and share it with other people and inspire other people as well. Because look at me, I went through all that. I'm still here, I'm still trying, I'm still learning, I'm still growing. And you know, now that I think about it, if I would have killed myself, I would have been hella young. So I feel, and I also feel like when us at this age right now, we feel like one little thing is gonna end our life and end our careers and end like everything, but it's not, because you still have like years to live. Like I'm only 19, but when you think about it, like my parents is like almost 50 years old, grandparents almost 80 years old, so it's like we still have so much life to live, and time to get better, and time to live out our dreams. And so I'm not gonna like kill myself. What stopped me from killing myself was basically like, what happened was I would come home at like 2:45 and my sister and parents would come home at 3. So even when I wanted to, I stopped because it was like, Q, you can't do this, because A, if you don't die in time by they come home, you're obviously gonna still be alive, take it to the hospital, scene, end scene, cut, blah. So I was like, okay, I don't do that. But then I also thought, like, I don't want my parents or like my sister, because my sister at the time was only in like 8th grade. I was like, I don't want her coming home and seeing me dead, and I don't want my mom coming home and seeing me dead, and I don't want to leave my best friend. It was like, you can do it, but is it gonna go through? Probably not. And if it does go through, think about what you're gonna be doing to those people. The person that I am now would tell the person that I was before, like, even though life is hard, you have to keep going, and no matter what, just know that you will be okay. Like, even if you fail, even if life is bad, like, things are gonna be okay, because that's just how life works. You know, life is for us. But you could go online and just, or even find like a support group on Facebook, a support group. Also too, I feel like school should have mental health clubs, where people can just gather around and talk about school and stuff. Because let me tell you something, school be stressing you out, because teachers be like, people would just be saying all of this stuff in high school and blah 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 blah. Like, I understand it's hard, so definitely you can organize a club, or like, I used to go on the internet, look up like quotes, look up motivational quotes. I used to watch other people, and that's another thing too. Like, here's the thing, I used to go on YouTube and look up depression, anxiety, and like suicide, but all of the people there were like, when I would watch, we didn't really go through the same stuff, if that makes any sense. Situation is not gonna match no one else's situation, it's your situation. But at the time being, I felt like I couldn't relate to these people on YouTube. Top of that, when you like try, especially the black community, like, we just like to, anything that's serious, we always make a joke out of it, or we just sweep it under the rug. But I feel like the black community and like families and stuff, they don't believe in it. So then I would like try and go to my family, but they didn't really believe in it, or they didn't want to believe it, because your parents will try and act strong and stuff for you so that you don't get more like stressed out and stuff. So I get that. But even then, like, I would tell my grandma and stuff, and then my grandma was like, yeah, well, I got that too. Like, why you ain't tell me this when I was younger? Because I feel like the more that we have these conversations with our kids, when they get older, the more that they'll kind of know, and they will feel more comfortable to tell you. Because if I'm young and y'all not telling me that depression, anxiety runs in the family, then how am I supposed to know that I can come and talk to you about it? You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I feel like the black community just doesn't really talk about it. They don't believe in it, and they just think like, oh, just be happy. And it's like, you know, but I get it, because black people, we can afford to be around here doing all this stuff, because we got bigger problems in the world. So I get it, but at the same time, I feel like our youth just doesn't really get all the help that they need with this. So yeah, like, I would look at these things on YouTube and online and stuff, but I didn't really relate to them. So then I felt even more crazy, because I had a Caucasian therapist. I see all these Caucasian people, and I'm like, how? I don't see no one that look like me, that relate to me, that's talking about it. So it's like, okay, now I'm really going crazy, because I must be the only person up in here in my house and my family that's going through this stuff. But then you know, I talked to my friend, and you know, she had it too, and she knew about it too, so she was like the only person I could relate to. And now talking to my sister and stuff, they all feeling like it too. So I'm like, okay, obviously this is kind of a problem within our community that we're not talking to our kids about. Our ancestors was slaves and stuff. You don't think they had PTSD and depression and anxiety and all that stuff that basically just kept like running through the family? And even now, like, all this stuff is going on that we kind of had to keep on guard about. So you don't think that somehow is not gonna run within our families and stuff, but we just don't talk about it. So we all feel like it's like foreign to us, when really it's not. But I tell you, I used to be up till 4 crying. Gotta go to school at 6. So I used to stay up all night crying. I used to write in my journal, just crying. I used to look at my mom and see her stressed out for me and like cry, and then I would like talk to my dad and it would just be like crying. Like I used to cry so much, but I'm very, very grateful that I went through what I went through, because that's helping me now. It's helped me before. Sometimes where out of nowhere you had this thought like, yo, I want to die, and then it's like, whoa, where did that come from? So just know that it's gonna get better. Don't kill yourself. Don't think that you're going crazy. Talk to someone, and at the end of the day, do what is best for you. Try and learn about yourself. Try and see what you like, and do what's best for you, and do what makes you happy. You gotta be selfish a little bit, you know, I get it. You may not want to do what you want to do, but you have to, because at that point your sanity goes away. Be proud of yourself, and also let up a little on yourself. Be easy with yourself. If you need to take a break, okay? Be gentle and be kind to yourself and love yourself. Even if you mess up, just say, we messed up, what can I learn from it? And keep going, and love yourself, because you are worth it. You deserve whatever it is you want in life. And if you just keep going, it may take some time, you know, things just don't happen overnight, but keep going, and keep learning and keep growing, and it's gonna help. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, if you want to do a discussion, you know what I'm saying, I'm all for it. Follow me on Instagram, and we could talk there. Subscribe and like this video and stuff. Like I said, I want to help you guys, especially teenagers that have mental health and that, you know, feel different and stuff like that. So teens, adults too, if you have any questions, let me know. And if you have any other topics that you want me to talk about, let me know as well, and stay tuned for my next video. Bye.